Hello, my name is Marie and welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, it's great to have you here and I'm glad you came back to watch my video. If you enjoy watching my video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my new videos. In today's video, I have prepared for you mango Nutella gelatin cream covered with chocolate. I don't really have any name for that. I thought I will try this combination and hopefully it will turn right. Fingers crossed. With this recipe, you can add anything inside, like jelly. I didn't add anything in because this video was made last minute. I tried a few things I wanted to do a few days ago, but I messed up all of it and I was actually really upset. So today I said to myself, let's try it for the last time. And if it's not gonna work out, I won't post any videos this week. There are a few mistakes in the video, like one time I thought I was filming when I was covering the molds with chocolate and I wasn't. And also because I live in UK and I'm also working, so when I'll come home, that's when I'm filming my videos, and I've got basically like 2 hours to do the video, but because it's always raining and it's getting dark really fast, so basically the lighting, it's really bad. And also I was doing it within 2 days because you need to put them in the freezer overnight. So that's why the lighting, it's really bad. So I do apologize for that. I hope you will enjoy this video. And I would like to invite you to follow me on Instagram. It's called Me and My Walk with Christ. In the last video, I was talking to you about who you are in Christ. And today, I would like to talk to you who is God. So let's get started. I got some good explanation from a website called Bible Project. I could understand everything and I hope you can do as well. Who is God? If you walk into a crowded room and start asking people who is God, you will get all kinds of answers based on people's religious or non-religious beliefs. If you talk to someone who respects the Bible, you'll likely hear about one all-powerful deity, the big guy upstairs who created and watches over us all. God is creator of heaven and earth. He is omnipotent, creator and redeemer of mankind. The Creator has revealed himself in both science and history, and the two subjects are intervened. God made everything, and He sustained everything. The Trinity, God the Father, in the power of God, the Holy Spirit, and through the agency of God, the Son, Jesus Christ, created everything that exists. The doctrine of the Trinity is not derived from pagan beliefs, but was developed from the plain teaching of scriptures. God is one being in three persons. The spiritual being that the Bible calls God is transcendent and author of all reality as we know it. Any knowledge that we have about such a being will always be limited and partial, because a creator by definition is above and beyond that which is created. But the story of the Bible also describes a God who wants to connect with his creation in genuine partnership to reveal the divine purpose and plan. And so when God appears to people in the Bible, it's both understandable to them. People can see, hear, and interact with God as a person. But it also breaks their categories at the same time. It's not just that understanding God is complex. It turns out that this God himself it's also extremely complex. A complex God revealed in and through Jesus. He claimed to be the embodiment of the biblical God in human form. He addressed God as my Father, but he also claimed that he and the Father are one God of the Bible. And when Jesus experienced the love of the Father, it was through the personal presence of the Spirit, who is both one with Jesus and the Father, and yet distinct from both. And while our minds aren't fully capable of comprehending a being who is both one and more than one, this is precisely the portrait of God that is presented to us in the story of the Bible. The Hebrew scriptures prepared us for the concept of God, who is a complex unity, and the New Testament claims that in Jesus we see the most perfect portrait of this creator being, who is an eternal community, unified love, the one who is three and one. This is not an easy concept to understand, but the biblical story isn't asking us to simply comprehend the idea of God. Rather, in the story of Jesus, we are being invited to know and be known by this being, who wants us to participate in his eternal love. The Bible isn't just giving us some new ideas to think about God. It is an invitation to know your Creator and discover why you exist in the universe. And the answer, it turns out, is remarkably simple. You exist to be loved, just as Jesus was loved from eternity past by his Father. This is an introduction to the wonderful and complex portrait of God that lead us to a deeper understanding of Jesus and of ourselves. Revelation of God in the Bible. The Bible provides us with a record of how God has revealed himself to us. Over time, God has revealed himself in many ways. He is the same God, but over time, He has told us more about himself. In one sense, the Bible is an extended record of those revelations. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. With these few short words, the Bible introduces us to God. We learn that the God of the Bible is creator, maker of heaven and earth, the giver of life, the giver of good. But the Bible shows us that God is much more than a creator. He is our Heavenly Father. God wants us to be His children. God wants us to be our Heavenly Father. In fact, this is one of the most powerful messages in the Bible. God is willing to make us part of His special family, but that does not happen automatically. We must enter His family in a special way He has prescribed. That way is summed up in these words. In John 1:12-13 it says, "Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become his children of God, children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God." In Colossians 1:15 it says, "The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rules or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together." This is an extensive praise of Jesus Christ in this passage. Paul explained that Jesus is eternal just as God is eternal, and all created things were created by him and through him and for him. After describing Jesus as absolutely supreme, Paul then explained that it was his sacrifice which allowed the Colossians and all saved believers to be reconciled to God. In John 14:6 it says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to Father except through me." Because Jesus died on the cross instead of us, we can come boldly to God. God adopted us as his children, and we can call him Father. So, even though God is complex, he has adopted us as his children, and we can treat him as our Father. And who is God to me? God is my Father, my Savior, my Redeemer, my best friend, my refugee, my safe place, my everything. And that's all I have for you today. I hope it wasn't too difficult to take all in. I hope to see you all again next time. God bless.